Welcome to Worship Artistry. I'm Nick.
I'm Jason.
And today we're going to be looking at 5 overdrive pedals through the same riff. We tried to make this as seamless as possible and the exact same because Jason here likes to talk about tone in his fingers quite a bit. So you want to tell us about that?
Well, yeah. So I'm always saying how tone is in your fingers.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a guitar teacher.
What?
I'm teaching. Yeah, that's what I do on Worship Artistry. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't. Now we
700 something guitar lessons at this point.
Look at you.
So I'm always thinking about technique.
Sure.
Right. And then sometimes in the conversation with gear, I feel like, especially with worship musicians, a lot of times it's not all about gear. You actually have to play it well.
Right.
You can't just buy your way into better sound
right.
always. However, when you talk about that, sometimes it's so what role does gear play?
Sure.
Because I was playing some shows this last weekend and I was not happy with my sound.
Oh, really?
And I made a couple adjustments and then I was like, beautiful. It was so much better.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's it was still me.
Yeah.
I was still playing the notes well, but it was no, this can be better. And so I thought this would be a super fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And just really hear the difference between these different drives and what does that actually add when you play the riff the exact same way. So how did we go about doing that?
Yeah, so we recorded the riff ahead of time and we went through an amp and a pedal, and we just put a DI straight into an input on the interface. Off camera, I got an Apollo Gen 2 over there. And we just recorded that direct signal. Then we sent that signal out into the pedal and the amp, and then I fake played, as you guys will see, because it's already.
But he hit every note perfectly.
I did hit every note perfect
while the fake playing was going on.
100%. That's amazing. I'm definitely not playing the right notes. And so we just got to then dial in the sound while just listening to that loop of the direct line being, again, outputted into the pedal and into the amp to get that sound. So very easy but complicated setup, honestly. But it really helps us do the exact same thing. We played it once, but we sent it through every single pedal. Hopefully that makes sense to all of you.
And they are shockingly different.
They really are.
Even though we thought they were not.
Yeah, as we were doing it, it was hey, should we pick different pedals? Jason asked me that question, and I was like, I guess we're showcasing that it doesn't matter which one you pick. But then we listened to them back to back, and we were wrong. They all sound a bit different. We will say that maybe they could have been dialed in just a little better, but this was this is how I would dial in everything for live, and we just did it with our ears and kind of listened here and there. But it is shocking how different they are, because in the open air room they all sounded very similar.
Right.
All right, so the bass tone for what you're going to hear, because we only recorded the sounds of the drives in the amp, right?
Yep.
So here's our bass tone before any drives. We are going straight into the amp. I'm using this Jennings Voyager with Lambertrons. That's kind of hard to say. I always want to say Lambertrons, Lambertones, or Lambertrons, whatever.
They're Lambertrons.
Lambertrons. They're very good. My favorite Filtertron style pickup. And then we're going straight into the Revv G2 V2. It's set fairly clean. Here's the riff before anything, so you can really kind of understand the sound. So it's something like that, right? So that sounds very weak. It needs an overdrive on it.
So weak. Totally weak. It couldn't possibly fight you.
Couldn't. But if we go this will be in the wrong key, but that sounds fine, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're playing those individual lines, the digging in kind of goes away sometimes. So having it boosted with a overdrive sounds really cool to me. So, but that's the bass tone. We do suggest listening to this with really great monitors. Or
don't use your phone.
Yeah, don't use your phone. Don't use your laptop speakers. Use headphones or good monitors if you got them to listen to these. But do you want to go ahead and show the good people what they've been missing?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. 5 times in a
You
row.
are kind of amazing.
Here's the hot cake. So the hot cake to me sounded, I don't know, kind of trebly, a little grainy is what I wrote, and kind of like comp feeling crunch. And because what I hear is that like a lot of the sounds are like just kind of squished from the lows to the highs because there's a really low note in that riff.
Right.
And everything kind of sounded even, but like not to me.
Yeah, it's the term I used was it's like a little floppier. Like it's like squished down. Like squished is a really good picture. It felt like it kind of took off highs and took off lows and kind of put everything more in the middle.
Yep.
But you still kind of felt that furry, kind of a little bit, I don't know if sloppy is the right word, but just kind of it felt a little not as focused as some of the other ones.
Yeah, it just kind of here's our sound.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's why I only click that thing on for certain things.
Sure, yeah. I could see if like because again, we were trying to have low, like not super high gain, and we tried to match them as good as we could from not hearing them back to back right away. But that one to me sounds like if I were to really turn the gain up, I would like it. Or maybe if I turn because I really like to do the trick of turning the level up and having low gain.
Yep.
Because it just really sends it through. But we wanted you guys to hear like the circuit too, not just the amp being pushed a lot more.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like a fuzz. Like,
Yeah. Well,
like
when you put the drive all the way to the top, it is just like whoa.
it's just there. It's hairy.
Yeah. That's a really good description of it.
It's not a fuzz, but it's just hairy. It's a cool pedal. I do like that sound.
It's definitely the ugliest one.
It definitely is. It's old, right?
I'm not trying to make it feel bad, but yeah, I mean it's a classic.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's very specifically made for AC30s. It was like push this into your AC30, and so in that context, it works great. And I actually do it more like you said. Like I actually go more gain, turn the drive down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So the Kilt to me sounded, I don't know, probably the best. Or like it was like my favorite kind of sound.
Okay.
Through the spectrum of these. To me, I wrote it's open. There's more low end than the hot cake. And honestly, probably more than the others as well. But it also sounded very balanced to me, smooth. Like the gain sounded smooth. It wasn't crunchy sounding or grainy like the hot cake to me. And it didn't sound compressed to me. It was very just open. And I thought it just sounded... It took the amp sound and just makes it better. Yeah. To me, and it almost sounded like I don't know, if like four dimensional. Like
it felt like it added more body. Yeah. Without taking anything away. Like a lot of times you feel like, oh, okay, you add body, and what that really means is you threw a bunch of lows in, and now it doesn't sparkle anymore. And it did feel really, really bright sounding. Like it felt kind of like more gainy. It felt like there was just more there. Yeah, I really actually don't have much to say about it because I liked it so much, and I thought it was I just love that pedal. Yep. So it's a good one. The 10-year anniversary.
Yes. Yeah. That's the Kilt 10. I believe they fixed a lot of the problems from the V2. We just did a video on that too, by the way, if you guys want to check that out, comparing the V2 to the Kilt 10. Spoiler alert: the Kilt 10 is better.
You can hear that. Yeah. It's very obvious.
It is, in our opinion. So moving on to the Revv G2. This is the anniversary pedal, but this is the V2 circuit. So they have a V1 circuit, and it was good. But what they really did with this one, you tested the V1 out a while back, and this one, and you can really still feel the amp with this one. But the other circuit, it has the same sound, but it takes the feel away. Yeah, it's weird. It's crazy. But for this one, I wrote down, it still sounds open to me, so it doesn't sound compressed. It did sound very mid-focused, and a lot of time to me, very mid-focused things can sound duller. And so I'm not calling this dull, but compared to, like, we had just heard it after the Kilt, and the Kilt really just had really great, like, high end, not overwhelming. And this, we could have dialed in more high end, but at the time it sounded really good. Yeah. And it sounded smooth to me.
Smooth is a good word for it. Yeah.
What did you write down?
Yeah, I said, it's more mellow is what I used it for. Like, it just felt like it wasn't like I think a lot of times with drives, you feel like you're kind of like more, and this felt almost like it was pulling back a little bit. Like, okay, it's a little more focused, more lows, kind of took the highs off. Felt like it kind of cut the highs, and then it kind of reminded me of the hot cake, but with like more lows and not as compressed.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like if I put the two, if I kind of compared to, I think personally, I think this sounded better.
Than the hot cake?
Than the hot cake, yeah. I mean, the hot cake is...
I'd agree.
It's its own thing.
It is, definitely.
And I like it for that thing, but definitely like... I pretty much like most of these better.
It's a great pedal. You can do a bunch of different sounds with it. We had it on the blue dip switch. You can do off, red, or blue. That's aggression. They call it aggression, but I think it's drive style. And it's based on their green channel of the generator amps that they have. It is not a tube screamer thing at all.
No.
Even though this did have more of a mid-focus thing.
Well, and it's funny, looking at these, how many of these are green?
Right. Yeah.
And I always kind of feel like there's like a throw to like, that's how you know it's a drive pedal, because it's a tube screamer, but these are not tube screamers.
We only have one tube screamer on here. This is not a tube screamer at all, and this green pedal is not a tube screamer at all either. So moving on to the tube screamer, the Antique by Cornerstone. What I wrote, it's a mid bump, very clear.
You're right.
It's there. It's smooth. And what I also wrote, this one to me sounded really even across all the notes. So when you hit the low notes, you still hear the low end, but it didn't bump the volume like some of these other pedals did. And then the higher, weaker notes was what I call them. It still was there. We could have dialed in more gain, in my opinion, but again, this is pretty hard to do. It takes a long time. And we weren't listening to them right back to back. We played them through the loop, and then we plug it in, dial it in, and it was close.
Yeah.
But really picking them apart, there's a big difference.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like when you really hear them back to back, you're like, oh, wow. Oh, wait, that's... Yeah, it's totally different.
Because we were just listening to them in the room here, and we were both kind of like, oh, Jason brought the question up, should we choose different ones? Like they kind of all sound the same, but now really listening to them, because I agreed with you, but really listening to them, they are very different, and they can be a lot more versatile than how we styled them in. But yeah, the Antique I thought was really even across all the notes.
Yeah, my notes were it's the prettiest one. That was I made that note before we even listened to it.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, it is funny. Like tube screamer's a sound, right? And that thing kicks on, and you're like, "Oh, got it, tube screamer."
It's there.
Like it'll cut through a mix.
Yep.
It's kind of pulls out some of the muddy stuff, and just kind of it's there. I thought it sounded great though. I really liked it.
I will say this is probably my favorite rendition of a tube screamer because it has the tube screamer sound at its core, but it's like on steroids, or I don't know. It's better to me,
and it's prettier.
It's very pretty. They have a bunch of different colorways too. Moving on to the Thrust. This one, I don't know. I just love the way it looks personally. Yeah. Just talking about that.
Blake doesn't make ugly pedals.
No, he doesn't. Blake has a very good eye, in my opinion. I love his aesthetic. But this one, when I was listening to it through the reamping and stuff, it sounded open. So not compressed. It sounded very balanced to me. It had gain, but it was also smooth. Yep. It was kind of grainy, smooth grain almost. And it was even across all the notes to me as well. Now, if you don't think that, you're wrong.
Well, I guess thank you for joining us. We don't need to look at our...
No, but I really like the sound of that one. And if you don't know what this is, it's kind of like a Timmy blues breaker. Kind of had a baby. And so it's got that blues breaker feel to it. And it's just a very unique pedal, in my opinion. He did say to me, so this right here is the tone, or like treble, or whatever, whichever one presence, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, something. He goes, it's a very trebly pot, and he could change it if I needed him to. But I just keep it dialed down low, and it's totally fine. But man, if you put that much past, like, I don't know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it cuts your ears off. But it's a very...
Sounds painful.
It kind of is, actually. But it's a very cool pedal. It stacks really well with other drives. I actually use these two on the board all the time because this is very mid-focused. And then you do these together, And it's like Captain Planet. By our powers combined, we can save the Earth. It's both green.
We can save your tone.
No, it really adds a really good dimension because this, to me, it's open. It's very balanced. But because this is so mid-focused, this almost makes it like a scooped mid.
Yeah.
And so, but it's not. But that's how it kind of feels to me. And so they complement each other very, very good. What did you think of the Thrust?
My notes were I really liked it.
Yeah.
I love that sound. I think it's like in my mind, what I think of when people talk about transparent drives.
Yes.
I'm just like, that is the most transparent. It's like what was already on your amp and guitar, but just more.
Yeah, exactly.
And and I love that. That's like, because I love that bass tone. I'm just like, that sounds great.
Yep.
I just want a little louder, a little stronger, a little extra, and it was perfect for that. I thought it sounded. That one was probably my favorite.
I will say that's definitely my second favorite. I just love the kilt sound.
That's because you're such a rocker.
I really am,
You and Stoogie, you guys rock super hard.
We wear kilts.
Yeah. I've never seen you in a kilt.
I keep sending him pictures, and he just he's blocking me. And I send him new numbers, but it's weird.
Sorry, Stu.
Yeah. But I thought all of these were very cool. After listening to all of these, I definitely like the kilt the best through what we were playing. And just another reminder, it was a Revv D25. We're playing the Jennings Voyager with Lambertrons in it.
It's already such a good sounding guitar.
It's very good just by itself, and then you add one of these in front. But we're playing on the bridge pickup. And just playing that same riff, God of the Promise by Elevation, I believe. Super cool riff. But each one of these, when we were just playing it by itself, we're like, that's really good. But is it different?
Right.
And then we listen back to back, blown away, in my opinion. It's just like, wow, those do sound very different. Could we have dialed them in to extreme perfection? Probably not. We're not AI. But even AI.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants
extreme perfection.
Get out of here.
If you want that, get out of here. This isn't that kind of channel.
This is WA.
Worship artistry.
Worship artistry, not
artistry.
Artistry.
Not worship perfection.
Anyway, so yeah, it could have been dialed in just a bit more, or like if we would have taken like 2 days to do this. We don't have that kind of time, so sorry about that. I thought they were all really interesting, and it was a very fun experiment to do.
It was a really fun experiment. It was. I felt the same way. It was just like, oh wow, you really hear what those different things do, and when you hear them back to back like that, it does kind of give you ideas for what else you could do with them. Because I said, my hotcake, I don't normally dial it in this way. I dial it in differently. Yep. So it's like, oh well, what if I did some other things with it? It kind of gives me some ideas and
yeah. And to me, I always stack things. I love stacking overdrives. And so I can listen to certain things and be like, ooh, we really need to kick on that one while that was going.
Yeah, totally.
But that's not the point of this. So, yeah, if there's anything you guys want to hear us run through, have a sound for you, would you want to hear some reverbs? I don't know. Maybe that'd be interesting to hear the different types of dotted eighth delay.
There you go. Just like all that, hear how that one sounds.
But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed making it and really learning about this. And I honestly thought I kind of knew these pedals inside out, and now I want to take it back to the drawing board and try again, I think.
Well, it's time to rebuild your whole pedal board.
It's all taken apart, yeah. So I got to go do that, and maybe we'll film it. So we'll see you in the next video.
See ya.